Hello my friends. And welcome to my channel English Stories. I hope you are doing well and your family today. Are you ready to listen and learn about amazing personalities who changed the world? Don't forget to subscribe, like and comment. Let's get started. Today we're going to talk about one of the most inspiring figures in history, Mahatma Gandhi. Introduction. This journey will be truly remarkable, filled with valuable lessons, deep emotions, and unforgettable moments. I will guide you through his life, from his earliest days to his final moments. So, take a cup of tea or coffee, relax, and enhance your English skills while learning about the man who inspired the world with his message of truth, nonviolence, and the power of simplicity. Mahatma Gandhi was born on October 2, 1869, in the small town of Porbandar, which is now part of Gujarat, India. His full name was Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, but in time, people began to refer to him as Mahatma, meaning great soul. Chapter 1, Childhood. Let's begin with his childhood. Mohandas was born into a Hindu family. His father, Karamchand Gandhi, served as a chief minister in Porbandar, while his mother, Putlabai Gandhi, was a deeply religious woman. Putlabai was a devoted mother who followed strict rituals, such as fasting and praying. Her simple way of life and strong spirituality had a profound influence on young Mohandas. As a child, Gandhi was quiet and shy. He was neither very strong nor particularly brave. In fact, he was afraid of many things, including the dark. However, he had a strong sense of curiosity and a deep desire to learn. He enjoyed listening to stories from Indian epics like the Ramayana and Mahabharata, which taught him about truth and good conduct. At around 13 years old, Gandhi married Kasturba Gandhi, who was the same age as him. Although child marriages were common in India at that time, it was still a life-changing event for young Gandhi. He often mentioned that he learned a great deal from Kasturba, as she was a strong and independent woman who remained his steadfast supporter throughout his life. After completing his schooling in India, Gandhi made the decision to pursue a career in law. Chapter 2, London. In 1888, at the age of 18, Gandhi left for London, England, to study law. It was his first time leaving India, and he encountered many challenges. He struggled with fluency in English and found it difficult to adjust to British culture. Feeling lonely and missing his family, he nevertheless remained determined and did not give up. While in London, Gandhi was exposed to Western ideas, but he also remained deeply connected to his Indian heritage. He adopted a simple vegetarian diet, following the teachings of his mother. During this period, he began reading books about various religions, including Hinduism, Christianity, and Islam. These readings reinforced his belief that all religions share a common message of love and truth. Gandhi completed his law studies in 1891 and returned to India, hoping to build a successful career as a lawyer. However, things did not go as he had expected. In court, he was shy and nervous, making it difficult for him to argue cases. It seemed as though his dream of becoming a great lawyer was slipping away. Chapter 3, South Africa. In 1893, at the age of 24, Gandhi received an offer to work in South Africa. A businessman from Gujarat, Dada Abdullah, needed legal assistance for his business and invited Gandhi to help him. Believing it would be a temporary job lasting just 1 year, Gandhi accepted the offer. However, he had no idea that this journey would change the course of his life forever. Upon arriving in South Africa, Gandhi encountered something he had never faced before: racism. At the time, South Africa was under British rule, and there was a stark divide between white people and people of color, including Indians. Indians were treated as second-class citizens and faced discrimination in nearly every aspect of life. One of the most defining moments in Gandhi's life occurred shortly after his arrival. While traveling by train from Durban to Pretoria, he held a first-class ticket. However, when a white passenger saw him, he complained to the railway authorities. The officials ordered Gandhi to move to the third-class compartment simply because he was not white. Refusing to comply, Gandhi firmly stated, "I have a valid first-class ticket. Why should I move?" But the railway officials were indifferent to his protest. They forcibly threw him off the train at a station in the middle of the night. Left alone in the cold and darkness, humiliated yet deep in thought, Gandhi sat at the station, contemplating the injustice he had just experienced. This incident deeply affected Gandhi. He realized that the injustice he faced was not just his own struggle, it was the struggle of all Indians and people of color living in South Africa. They were being treated unfairly, and no one was standing up for their rights. Gandhi knew he could not remain silent. After the train incident, he began closely observing the situation in South Africa. He saw that Indians were denied the right to vote, forced to carry special passes, and treated with little to no respect. Determined to bring change, Gandhi started engaging with the Indian community, encouraging them to unite and stand against injustice. But what set Gandhi apart was his unwavering belief in nonviolence. He did not want to respond with anger or aggression. Instead, he believed in the power of truth and peaceful resistance. He called this approach satyagraha, meaning the force of truth. For the next 21 years, Gandhi remained in South Africa, leading numerous campaigns against discrimination and fighting for the rights of the oppressed. Chapter 4: Burning of Passes and March Against Injustice. Key events during this time. 1. Burning of the passes. In South Africa, Indians were required to carry special passes as proof of identity. In an act of resistance, Gandhi organized a protest where people publicly burned these passes. This became one of the first major acts of civil disobedience led by Gandhi. 2. The Tolstoy Farm. Gandhi strongly believed in living a simple and truthful life. To put these values into practice, he established a community called Tolstoy Farm, where people lived together, worked hard, and followed his principles of nonviolence and truth. 3. The March Against Injustice. In 1913, Gandhi led a massive march with thousands of Indians to protest against unjust laws. Although the march was entirely peaceful, it was powerful enough to draw widespread attention to the struggles faced by Indians in South Africa. During his years in South Africa, Gandhi underwent a complete transformation. He grew stronger, wiser, and more determined to fight against injustice. He also embraced a simple way of life, wearing plain clothes, eating simple food, and dedicating himself to serving others. In 1915, after spending 21 years in South Africa, Gandhi returned to India at the age of 45. By then, he had already gained recognition as a leader due to his work in South Africa. However, his focus now shifted to his homeland. At the time, India was under British rule, and its people were suffering immensely. Heavy taxes, widespread poverty, and a lack of freedom were part of daily life. Gandhi knew he had to take action. Rather than immediately entering politics upon his return, Gandhi spent the first few years traveling across India, observing and understanding the struggles of the people firsthand. Gandhi traveled to small villages, spoke with farmers, and closely observed the lives of ordinary people. He realized that most Indians lived in extreme poverty, lacking sufficient food, clean water, and proper clothing. Farmers were burdened with heavy taxes imposed by the British, even when their crops failed. Deeply moved by their suffering, Gandhi decided that his life's mission would be to help them. One of Gandhi's first major campaigns in India took place in Champaran, a district in Bihar. There, farmers were being forced to grow indigo, a crop used to produce blue dye, instead of food. To make matters worse, they were paid extremely low wages for their labor. As a result, many farmers were left starving, with no means to fight back. In 1917, Gandhi traveled to Champaran to understand their struggles firsthand. The British authorities attempted to stop him, but he refused to back down. He stayed in the villages, spoke directly with the farmers, and gathered evidence of their hardships. Gandhi then led a peaceful protest against the British, demanding better conditions for the farmers. The movement was a success, and as a result, the farmers were finally allowed to grow food crops instead of indigo. During this time, Gandhi also worked tirelessly to unite Hindus and Muslims in India. One significant example of this was his support for the Khilafat movement in 1919. This movement was led by Muslims who sought to protect the Ottoman Empire's caliph, their spiritual leader, after World War I. Gandhi strongly believed that Hindus and Muslims should stand together in the fight for India's independence. By supporting the Khilafat movement, he helped strengthen unity between the two communities, which played a crucial role in the struggle for freedom. By 1920, Gandhi had risen to become the most influential leader of the Indian independence movement. Chapter 5, Non-Cooperation Movement. Gandhi launched the Non-Cooperation Movement, a nationwide protest against British rule. He urged Indians to boycott British goods, stop purchasing British-made clothes, tea, and other products. Resign from British jobs, quit working for the British government. Reject British schools, withdraw children from British-run educational institutions. Instead, Gandhi encouraged Indians to use Swadeshi products, meaning goods made in India. To promote self-reliance, he began spinning khadi, a hand-woven cloth, and urged others to do the same. Spinning khadi soon became a powerful symbol of independence and self-sufficiency. The movement gained massive support, with millions of Indians joining Gandhi's call for non-cooperation. However, challenges arose. In 1922, a group of protesters in the village of Chayuri Chaura turned violent, setting a police station on fire and killing several policemen. Deeply disturbed by this act of violence, Gandhi, who firmly believed in non-violence, made the difficult decision to call off the movement, despite its great success. In 1930, Gandhi launched one of the most iconic protests in history, the Salt March. At the time, the British held a monopoly on salt production and imposed heavy taxes, making it unaffordable for ordinary Indians. Determined to oppose this unjust law, Gandhi decided to take action. Chapter 6, The Salt March and Quit India Movement. On March 12, 1930, Gandhi, along with 78 followers, began a 240-mile march from his ashram in Sabarmati to the coastal village of Dandi. Along the way, thousands of people joined him. Upon reaching the seashore on April 6, Gandhi picked up a handful of salt from the ground, openly defying the British salt law. This simple yet powerful act became a symbol of resistance against British rule. The Salt March inspired millions of Indians to actively support the independence movement. Throughout his life, Gandhi was arrested multiple times by the British. However, rather than weakening the movement, his arrests only made him more popular. People saw him as a symbol of courage and sacrifice, and each time he was imprisoned, even more people joined the fight for freedom. In 1942, during World War II, Gandhi launched the Quit India movement, demanding the immediate withdrawal of British rule from India. He gave a powerful slogan, "Do or die." He urged Indians to resist peacefully but with unwavering determination, vowing not to stop until independence was achieved. The British responded by arresting Gandhi and other leaders, but this only intensified the protests across the country. The movement put massive pressure on the British government. Finally, after years of struggle, sacrifice, and peaceful resistance, India gained independence on August 15, 1947. Gandhi's dream of a free India had finally come true. However, independence came at a heavy price, the painful partition of India and Pakistan. Gandhi was devastated by the violence and division between Hindus and Muslims. Though India had won its freedom, Gandhi did not celebrate. Instead, he was heartbroken by the hatred and bloodshed that followed. The partition caused brutal violence, and thousands of people lost their lives. In his final years, Gandhi dedicated himself to restoring peace and unity among the people, working tirelessly to heal the wounds of division. Chapter 7, Spread of Violence. Let's explore this powerful and emotional chapter of Gandhi's life. When the British left India in 1947, they divided the country into two nations, India, with a Hindu majority, and Pakistan, with a Muslim majority. This decision led to widespread chaos. Millions of Hindus and Sikhs were forced to leave their homes in Pakistan and migrate to India, while millions of Muslims moved from India to Pakistan. During this mass migration, people endured unimaginable suffering. Families were torn apart, homes were destroyed, and violence spread rapidly. Communities that had lived together in peace for centuries were suddenly engulfed in conflict. Gandhi was devastated by this hatred. At 78 years old, he made the courageous decision to travel to the most violence-stricken areas in an effort to restore peace. Walking barefoot through villages, he met with angry mobs, pleading with them to stop the bloodshed and embrace unity once again. Chapter 8, Why Are We Fighting? He told them, "We are all children of the same God. Why are we fighting?" Gandhi didn't just speak words, he led by example. In Calcutta, when violence erupted between Hindus and Muslims, Gandhi chose to stay in the city to restore peace. He went on a hunger strike, refusing to eat until the violence stopped. This was one of his most well-known acts of protest, fasting as a form of non-violent resistance. His sacrifice moved many, and gradually, people began to lay down their weapons and listen to his message. In January 1948, Gandhi moved to Delhi, where violence had again flared. Once more, he began a hunger strike, vowing not to eat until both Hindus and Muslims promised to live in harmony. Though his health was already fragile, Gandhi paid little attention to his own life. He believed that his fasting could inspire others to change their hearts and end the violence. The people of Delhi were deeply moved by Gandhi's actions. They saw how much he was willing to sacrifice for peace. As a result, both Hindus and Muslims came together and pledged to stop the fighting. Gandhi broke his fast when he realized that his efforts had been successful. Even in his final years, Gandhi continued to live a simple and humble life. He stayed in a small room, wore his modest khadi clothes, and ate plain food. His days were spent spinning his charkha, spinning wheel, praying, and meeting with people from all walks of life. Gandhi also worked tirelessly to uplift the poor and improve the lives of the untouchables, whom he called Harijans, children of God. He believed that every person, regardless of caste, religion, or background, deserved respect and dignity. Chapter 9, Gandhi Assassination. On January 30, 1948, a tragedy struck. Gandhi was in Delhi, staying at Birla House. Every evening, he would hold a prayer meeting, where people gathered to listen to him. That evening, as Gandhi walked to the prayer ground, a man named Nathuram Godse approached him. Godse was angry with Gandhi, believing that he was too kind to Muslims and had allowed the partition of India. Before anyone could stop him, Godse pulled out a gun and shot Gandhi 3 times in the chest. Gandhi collapsed to the ground, and his last words were, "Hey Ram, O God." Chapter 10, Gandhi's Legacy. The assassination of Gandhi sent shockwaves around the world. People in India and across the globe grieved his death. Millions gathered for his funeral, and his ashes were scattered in the holy Ganga River. Although Gandhi was no longer with us, his teachings and principles continued to resonate. His message of non-violence, truth, and peace inspired influential leaders like Martin Luther King Jr. in the United States and Nelson Mandela in South Africa. Gandhi demonstrated to the world that fighting for justice doesn't require violence, it demands courage, love, and unwavering determination. Even though Mahatma Gandhi passed away in 1948, his legacy and teachings continue to live on in the hearts of millions. Gandhi's life is not just about India's independence, but also about courage, truth, and the strength of determination. He proved that, even in the face of overwhelming challenges, we can accomplish remarkable things if we have the conviction to stand by our values and never give up. Chapter 11, Lessons. Let's take a moment to reflect on Gandhi's most profound lessons and how they inspire us to become better, stronger, and more compassionate individuals. Lesson 1, Nonviolence is the greatest power. Gandhi showed us that violence is never the solution. He believed that ahimsa, nonviolence, is the most powerful tool we possess. Imagine confronting one of the world's most powerful empires without using guns or bombs. Gandhi taught us that patience, love, and truth can overcome even the most formidable adversaries. Think about this in your own life. Whether you're dealing with challenges at school, work, or in your personal relationships, Gandhi's message encourages us to approach conflict with calmness and kindness. No matter how tough things get, we always have the power to choose peace over anger. Lesson 2, Stay true to your principles. Gandhi had an unwavering belief in truth. He referred to his life as an experiment with truth, because, for him, being honest with himself and others was the most important thing. Even when faced with doubts and criticism from others, Gandhi remained steadfast in his beliefs. This is a valuable lesson for all of us. When we pursue our dreams and goals, there will always be obstacles. People might tell you that you're not good enough or that your dreams are too ambitious. But Gandhi's life reminds us that we must never abandon our values. If you stay true to yourself and work with integrity, nothing can prevent you from realizing your dreams. Lesson 3: Small actions can change the world. When Gandhi began spinning khadi or making salt at Dandi, many people mocked him. They thought these actions were insignificant and would have no impact. But Gandhi demonstrated that even the smallest actions can lead to monumental changes. In our own lives, we often feel that our efforts are too small to make a difference. Perhaps you think you're not doing enough or that your dreams are too distant. But remember this: big changes begin with small steps. If you take one step each day toward your goal, you will eventually reach it. Lesson 4: Simplicity is the key to happiness. Gandhi led a very simple life. He didn't seek fancy clothes, large houses, or expensive possessions to find happiness. For him, true happiness came from helping others and staying true to his values. In today's world, many of us often chase material things, believing they will bring happiness. But Gandhi's life serves as a reminder that real happiness comes from within. It comes from kindness, gratitude, and living a meaningful life. Lesson 5: Never give up. Perhaps the most inspiring part of Gandhi's life was his determination. Imagine how difficult it must have been for him to fight against an empire as powerful as the British. He was jailed, beaten, criticized, and betrayed. Yet, he never gave up. Gandhi believed that every failure brought him one step closer to success. He often said, "First they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fight you, and then you win." This is a lesson for all of us. No matter how many obstacles you face, never stop fighting for your dreams. You might fail once, twice, or even 100 times, but as long as you keep going, you will achieve what you want. Even today, people around the world turn to Gandhi for guidance. His life shows us that no matter where you come from or how small you feel, you can make a difference. Mahatma Gandhi's face is on all Indian currency because he is considered the father of the nation. The image used on the currency comes from a famous photograph taken in 1946, where Gandhi is smiling warmly. This smile represents peace, simplicity, and hope. As we conclude this story, think of Gandhi's life as a shining example. He wasn't born rich or powerful. He was an ordinary man who believed in extraordinary things. His dream was to free India, and he achieved it not by fighting with weapons, but by fighting with his heart, mind, and soul. You too have the power to achieve your dreams. You don't need to be perfect or have everything figured out. All you need is courage, determination, and belief in yourself. Gandhi once said, "Be the change you wish to see in the world." This means that if you want to make the world better, you must start with yourself. Work hard, stay honest, and never stop dreaming. Gandhi's life may have ended, but his spirit lives on in every person who fights for truth, justice, and freedom. He is not just the father of the nation, he is a father figure to the world, showing us the way to live with purpose and compassion. Let this story of Gandhi remind you that greatness is within all of us. You can overcome any challenge, achieve any dream, and make the world a better place, just as Gandhi did. Remember, you are stronger than you think, braver than you know, and capable of amazing things. Keep going, and never give up. This was the story of Mahatma Gandhi, an ordinary man who changed the world. Thank you for listening. Let me know what you learned from this story.